Hey, Nick. What's left to contemplate? Hmm? Hey, Nick. Okay, so what gives you the idea that she's not what she is?
So you guys subscribe to my channel. Put some fire in the chat if you're subscribed to my channel, or if you're new here, put a um, put a bird. I'm just taking a tally. There's reasons why I'm taking a tally. Because I just try something a little different to see if it might work. Because if you're subscribed, you should have got a notification. It was a post on the post section. Welcome in, birthday girl. Dorothy, it was her birthday. Oh, Trash Panda, it's been so long. Big hugs to you. You. Welcome back. I'm glad you made it. To today, in this moment. You're a trooper. Keep going. Nick, if, hey, Princess, to any that subscribed, did you guys get a notification for the secret unlisted live? I might start doing those. You might have to start paying attention. Just saying. Sure, open it. Well, where the hell were you? For the post or this live? Because the post had a link to another live. And me and Max sat there for like 20 minutes, I think it was. And waited for everybody to follow the Easter egg. In secret live, where we wouldn't have to deal with any trolls. I try to do something nice. Welcome in, Starlight, Kitty, Dorothy, Nikki. It's gone now. I deleted it. It's a figment of our imagination at this point. So, you got 15 in the chat now, Aiden. Alright. So go to the bell, the subscribe. Make sure you're hitting all on the posts. And not personalized. Yeah, it has been quite a while, eh? I hope all is good with you. And thank you, thank you. I try. I worked really hard on my hair today. Not that I really have to work hard on it, but it can be a bit of a pain sometimes. Trying to curl it up and over my ear, but it's not staying. Oh well. Why would you question your own sanity? That's my question. Can you recognize the power you gave away to someone else? And can you recognize power that you still have and that you can take back? And can you recognize the fact that this is all happening and see it for what it is and course of action to change it? Independence is #1. the ability to think for yourself, to do for yourself, to take care of yourself, to protect yourself. To set some standards to what you will and will not accept. And know your why behind those standards. People say, oh, you set standards so high. It's like, well, maybe that's people's problems. Maybe they set their standards so low that we're in a sea of chaos. And they're wondering why. And it's our standards of living, of what we're accepting and what we're not. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You gotta feel it to heal it. Allow it to help you grow with new understanding and new perspective, seeing things from different perspectives. Maybe it's not a perspective you jive with or that you vibe with, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you shouldn't have to pretzel yourself in order to someone that somebody wants you to be. You're giving somebody else way too much power. And you're not actually powerless, Nick. And you're not pathetic either. You're not confused. To think a woman couldn't do this to a man, sadly mistaken. Pun intended. Usually it's a lot of the men doing it to the woman. Men are usually the ones as the abuser, but do you ever take a step back and you find where the men were in order to be in that energy of frustration? Maybe they've been ripped apart. Maybe they're having a hard time being heard, being represented, and being compensated. Like, we have all this for women and children, but what about the men? What happens when we end up with SD and CPTSD? What happens when trauma in our existence becomes too much to the point where we can't handle ourselves, or we can't take care of ourselves? What do we get? We get halfway houses, we get detox houses, and we get the... And for some of us, we even get offered medical assisted death. Oh, you want to put yourself out of your misery? Here. So if the men are supposed to protect the women, if the men are supposed to protect our communities, and they're left running ragged and depleted and drained, pretty well no resource, how are they supposed to help other people? How are they supposed to be in their right mind in order to be in those leader positions or those executive positions? And yet we wonder why our world is full of chaos. When the doctor just says, here, there's a pill for that. And it literally creates an imbalance within your immune system. Neurotransmitters of the brain to be able to do what they need to do in order to make a capable fucking human being. The world is waking up. No, she's not, Nick. She's just sucking the life out of you. And you're letting her. I mean, I've been on a waiting list for housing for 17 years in one city, 2.5 years in another. I have another 15-year wait for there too. Um, and I could start another one, but that's another 25-year wait. Where did this $4 billion go? That was supposed to be for affordable housing. And by affordable housing, you need to be clearing close to $5,000 to almost $3,000 a month in order to afford this affordable housing. So what kind of job gives you that? Probably a high construction job, or working for the city, a lawyer. Nothing for the middle class, nothing for the lower class, and it's supposed to be affordable housing. It's what I was offered. That's what I'm talking about. Me working my 4-hour a week job, making $18, $19 an hour, I think it was, and you know, I had the weekends off. Once in a while, I worked a Saturday. Even working that job 4 years, I still couldn't afford it. No, I'm talking about my situation. I'm talking about how there's a lot of support for other demographics of people, but when it comes to men, there's nothing. There's little to nothing. And anything that is available for men, you're literally waiting forever. Like, after my ex, I went myself put on a list to talk to a psychologist, to work through this, to unpack this, and it just snowballed into this big, huge thing, way bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And by sheer intuition and looking back into the memories of everything, all the little dots started to connect. It became very obvious to me. And the thing is, I had good benefits with the construction company, and I was too fucking tired to use them. I was exhausted at the end of the day. And it's not like I could take any time off because it all went to bills. And at this point, it's like a figment of my imagination. I literally have nothing to show for it now. I don't even have my car. So, welcome in, James. Welcome in, Whip. This is why I want my tribe. The only reason I want to make the money is to provide a place, a safe place. Not only just for myself, but for people that need to heal. Because what a lot of people don't tell you is when you first leave your narcissist or your abuser, you are still in that abuse, a victim mentality. So it makes you vulnerable to becoming a victim for a second, and a third, and a fourth, fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh time. And that can go on forever in a vicious circle if you do not have the time to re-alchemate your energy and build yourself at the same time. And I'm a passport. I would totally come out to Ireland. If I had a passport, I would come. Totally. Chances are there. I have Irish heritage, so I hear they allow people with Irish heritage to come back home. Well, did you ever reconsider and see if you were, James? Did you ever reflect on that? Because it's always good to reflect. Even I've done it myself. I'm my own worst critic. It's better to be your own worst critic than have somebody tell you wrong. You know, you always want to show up right in the right energy. If you do, then you really have nothing to worry about. I'm not calling you out on it. Just something to think about. It's always good to be humble. Reflecting shouldn't give you anxiety. The only time it'll give you anxiety is if you're doing something wrong. All right. I'm going to do a whispers stack tonight. Well, welcome home, Whit. It's been a while. I hope everything is well with you. Welcome in. What's going on? How are you? Hello, Michael. Maureen. All right. $21 for 12. Spirit, guides, guards, protectors, angels, ancestors, divine light. Please protect message for my collective and my tribe, and let all that is meant for us to hear tonight come through. And tell us what we need to know. What's been hidden behind the scenes, and tell us how to bring about solutions and past it to our highest timeline. By divine light, an angel is right. As above, so below, as within, so without, and so it is. Right off the top. Okay, so the animals are saying you need to guard up, you need to shield up. You're slacking. And not only that, you are tuning out your intuition. Your guides are trying to tell you something. It's either you're moving into a partnership or you're moving out of one. If you're moving into one, this very well could be a distraction, okay? And it very well could be a trap. Really take a back and find out whether or not it's too good to be true. Pace yourself, tap into your own energy, your own intuition, and allow it to guide, using the principles and the standards and the integrity you stand with within your sovereignty. Yes, there is definitely a trap here. Somebody very, very immature, trying to gain control and have you submit. They do not want you having freedom, and they do not want you to have the ability of personal choice. And they're trying to take away your infinite possibilities. They're infinite your abundance. They are a dark mystic, and they're very, very much into praying about bringing you chaos and inventing stories. However, they do not understand as to where you stand and for what you stand. You're being protected at this time. Somebody is trying to diminish you to nothing, create a demise for you, but demise instead. You have old magic, and you've already been through your rebirth. And here they're trying to prevent your rebirth. They don't feel that you have an inner calling, and they don't feel that you have what it takes to step into the community and be a particular person. They feel that they could do a better job. However, they are not noble. They are very dark, very twisted, and very sick individual. They are not the messenger, and they are not a shaman. And they are less than prepared. They are far more visionary, and they are relying on that what no longer serves them. They're relying on dark forces to trying to diminish your power and to discredit your wisdom. However, you are showing the way. And you are very assertive. They're not clever at all about the possible miracles that are up to bestow you. I also see they're thwart your miracles, trying to keep it back, dimming your fire. Those blessings that are about to show up for you, keep them quiet. Stay in the vibration of abundance. Do not let them knock you out of it. Dragons, what's the message for my collective? As long as you stay in your divine energy, you are protected. As long as you stay tapped into your intuition, you will always be guided. And as you keep your eyes open and are vigilant, and you listen to your calling, you will always be protected. When you step into your North Node officially, you will feel the change. But you have to heal all the lower nodes first, before you can do that. Otherwise, it pulls you back down. And this is how they come back to try to trigger you, into something that you don't want to have anything to do with. And this is how they claw at your ankles. So do not rush your healing. Just be very focused on your healing and let it happen organically. Just sit on the dock and let what rises and deal with what rises to the top. And if you find that you are in a rut and you continuously see yourself in a rut and you're going through the same cycle over and over and over again, find the root of that by digging deeper and pull it out from the root rather than just chopping it off that grows. This is why you sometimes need scuba gear instead of being so surface level in your healing. You need to be able to go deep within your subconscious to find out what the deal is. So that way you can actually break the cycle. Dragons, what's the message for my collective? Wow. Some amazing energy tonight. Magneta Dragon enables you to bring forward your system, awaken your soul memories and spiritual understanding. Prepare for accelerated ascension. The gold and silver violet flame dragon. Transmute the old around you with wisdom and grace. It's time for transmutation, magic, and healing. Offer service under grace. Fire dragon. Burns up all the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. And here's the other one. I don't know if I showed it. Such a pretty picture. All right, angels, what do we got? Speak for yourself, kitty. All right, angels, right off the top, right off the bottom, right through the middle. Let's see, which one do you want us to know about? Off the cut? Karmic decade, embrace your calling. Embrace your sacred calling. Heal the child within and embrace your sacred calling. Your desires are not unholy. Heal the child in. You are ascending. Your desires are not unholy. Miracles are possible. Healing art. Do not be afraid, Mary, Queen of Angels. Be kind and compassionate, and miracles are possible. The ability to experience miracles is down to your capacity to believe that miracles are possible. Don't give up hope. A real turnaround is possible. The light of the angels is surrounding you, inviting you to step into a most gracious receiving state possible. Open your heart and expect a miraculous solution. You are worthy, so know this. I'm worthy of miracles in all forms. Be kind and compassionate. In order for peace to be restored in the outer world, you must first be able to find it within yourself. Your current situation requires you to step into the energy of loving kindness. Realize that the other person so you. Having consideration for others will open your heart up, so that way you can see the world through more loving eyes. I choose to see through the eyes of kindness. Mary, Queen of Angels, do not be afraid. You were born for this. Trust in your voice. Trust in your ability to articulate your thoughts. Trust in your capacity to use and to share your gifts. If you are feeling scared or unsure about the next step, this is just showing how much about making a difference. Stand in the light of your soul is the only shield you need. Activation, I trust in myself, my voice, my gifts, and I am unafraid. Written in the stars. The star beings is popping out at me. There's a great mystery unfolding at this time. All the synchronicities and signs that you're experiencing are not a coincidence. They are spirit-led experiences to let you know that you are on the right path. Trust in this. Where you are is where you need to be. So stay committed to your vision, because star beings are guiding you in your dreams and bringing them to reality. Thank you, star beings, for guiding my vision into reality. Come in, welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're doing weather, Hope you're doing weather, Heather. No, hope you're doing well, Heather. Yeah. Nice warm weather. Heather. I don't know. I guess a little play on words. Mine just glitched out. Alright, Voice of Souls, pray tell what you have for us as a message. Please let it be something enlightening and positive and maybe warm and sunny instead of doom and gloom and drama and karma. Is it possible? Please. Is there a God? Come on. No regrets. No repression. Like, okay. I don't know what's going on in the world that people are definitely regretting. There's nothing to regret regarding a divine relationship. And that's truth. That's facts right there. Because when you're in your divine energy, let the divine to work miracles in your life, and they bring these divine unions together, you literally have the ability to change the energy in your community. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's why divine relationships are so important. you change the course of the frequency of Mother Earth. And we need a lot more people in divine energy having divine relationships. And I don't care whether you're gay, straight, bi, whatever you vibe with. You are who you are, and you deserve to love how you want to love, as long as it's love and not lust. Because lust will bring you down a road you don't want nothing to do with. But that's your choice. Lust is very karmic. You can't be an emperor and a fuckboy all at the same time. It's impossible. And this whole idea of divine masculines having attachments and like entity attachments and all, they're divinely guided, guarded, and protected. The only time that they are acceptable is if they choose and consent to lowering their standards and settling for karmic energy. It pulls them out of their divine energy. So as long as the divine masculine or divine feminine are in their divine energy, they're protected. And I'll tell you right now, divine masculine, divine feminines, they're not worried about doing anything hasty or doing anything shady or anything in a negative sense. And then we have the posers, posing as if they're in divine energy, and they're really not. But it's by how they show up. It shows with how ugly that is. But he's not calm at all. Somebody's so frustrated that you're winning. So frustrated. Like you're literally driving them mad. Not only that you keep winning, you succeed, and you're literally untouchable. Yeah. And these particular people, they don't want to take accountability for what they've done. And Spirit's haunting them. They are haunting them until they break. Because that's what they wanted for you, Kodu. Yeah. These people don't love you. They never loved you. They just played a part to see what they could get from you. And all they wanted to do was make you angry. So that way they could siphon all your beautiful energy away. They wanted to see you in utter sadness. They wanted to see you broken. Broken and begging would bring them great joy. Receiving karma, extreme karma, you're going to get vacation soon. Spirit's going to give you some messages. They reserve karma, a final destination. They tried to project all their bullshit onto them, onto you. They wanted you to feel they felt. But now they have no other choice but to respect you. Somebody's willing to submit to you. Somebody's in a burden of tears. They don't want to cry anymore. I guess the secret's out. It's either they didn't want to learn a lesson for coming for you, or they don't want to take accountability. Secret's out that they didn't learn a lesson, but somehow they want a reunion with you. They're coming to ask you for help. Coming in to ask for guidance, as well as forgiveness. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. They're lost. Literally lost without you. And they've been ignoring the messages and the nudge. They should have come forward a long time ago, but they didn't. They didn't understand dharmic energy and how powerful it was and what it did, what it was even to begin with. You didn't lose out of this. You gained an even more strong connection source energy. Although they took your abundance away, they tried to repress you. It just kept you going back to the drawing board to relook at things from a different perspective. And it actually brought you happiness, learning to love yourself and to really free yourself and face your fears and this karmic energy head on. The thing is they tried to teach you a lesson, and they're the ones that got educated. And this is what hurts them so much. This is what creates the frustrations and hostility, because they regret coming at you. They're very angry that they created rise and not your demise. The trap that they tried to set you, all the traps, the energetic projection. It did the absolute opposite than what they expected. For some of you, they didn't recognize your study. Now, I'm talking to like starseeds right now. I'm talking to earth angels. I'm talking very, very mystical individuals right now. People that are in the know. People that are intuitive. You focus on study every day. These people really didn't understand who you were until it was too late. Intuitive Magdalene. Let's check it out. Welcome in, Sheila. Welcome in, Mandy. And welcome in anyone else that has jumped in before that. Collective. This is all coming back to when I started my channel for tarot. Collective, it wasn't supposed to be like this. It was never supposed to be like the way it is today. It was never supposed to be a position where we were thwarted out of all the hard work that we've done. It wasn't supposed to be that we were swindled and stolen from. It wasn't supposed to be where we were duped, where we were to. This earth, place of existence, this place of thriving, of abundance, of possibilities, infinite possibilities. We were brought here to remember. We were brought here to experience every feeling, every notion of events that we have available to us, through the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the mouth to taste, speak, the nose to smell, the fingers and hands to touch, feet to walk and explore, and the brain to think and to understand, to learn and to grow, to experience in a physical realm outside of our spiritual self, grounded, give an experience to evolve into something beautiful. It was never supposed to be. It wasn't ever supposed to be abusive. We were never supposed to become hypnotized by the Matrix. Brought here to remember who we are. We were brought here to understand the human experience. Many worlds, not only by this one, but the many worlds before us, went through the evolution of being born again, to moving into this area of evolution of remembering of why we are here. And each time these worlds progressed, evolved, we were brought to a different, higher love frequency. In the first world, we were given all the elements. We were given the earth. We were given the air to breathe. We were given the fire to stay warm. We were given the water to plenish our bodies, plenish the earth. We are earth representatives. Each world, starting with earth, the pentacle, which represents all 5 elements of creation. It is the foundation. Without that foundation, we do not exist. All other elements are derived from those elements. We gain knowledge and wisdom on how to work with and utilize these elements. And then there was a great earthquake. And it split and it divided what it is now into many different continents across this plane of existence. And then we started again. Each time a world progressed, there was darkness. It enveloped the earth into chaos. It flipped the earth into a chaotic unbalance where good was bad and bad was good. And we, as individuals, were left with the decision to decide for ourselves. And throughout that world, the world of air, the world of communication, the world of intellect, the world of thought, became the sword. Then there was a great hurricane of knowledge that swept the earth of realizationness about the fact that we have a consciousness. And it cleansed the earth one more time. It helped us let go of an era in time that was no longer useful. It was a time in evolution where we rose. We rose into a time of transformation and a realization that we could survive the bitter winters, the ebbs and flows of all seasons. The ability to cook food and transform mud and stone into castles. It is also where the legend of the three little pigs come from. Some don't realize that that is actually a very old legend. It's based off a very old folklore about the realization of industrialized building, realization of the storms that come through. It represented strength. It represented a transformation from misunderstanding into knowledge and wisdom. And the ability to build legacies and strongholds and foundations that would live and outstand the test of time, which also brought through the pyramids. It also brought magic and intuition and our divinely given abilities. It brought us to awareness that there are infinite possibilities available to us. And then there was a great fire that engulfed the earth. Fires of brimstone fell from the sky. It was also said that there were many comets that hit the earth, but they came up in a burning fire. And it was due to the fact of the earth moving through the Milky Way and having our gravitational pull bring in these items from space. But within that chaos, we had the ability of many different minerals, celestial minerals, celestial treasures, that would become very, very valuable to our ways of life. Considering diamonds and crystals and gems and sapphires and marbles. We are getting ready to move some such as that again. At the great time of the great fires, we eventually had the flood. And it brought us into the current world that we're living, where we are going through our final cleansing, which is the cleansing of spirit. It is the cleansing of the false god, the god of deception, the god of darkness, the god of narcissism, and the Jezebel. And we are recognizing and stepping into our true divinity of source consciousness. We are recognizing, we are remembering, we are evolving into the highest version of ourself. And there are people that are trying to confuse us. There are energies and entities that are trying to thwart us from awakening. And by divine order, they are being held accountable. By divine order, they are being brought to their knees. And they are running scared. Because even they did not see this coming. Since 2012, they've been trying to prepare. They've been trying to investigate what the next course of action is. And this 2030 agenda is failing epically. And as the different nations across the world start to wake up, things will start to change. We are waking up every single day. And where some people think we are behind, we are right on time. Our existence and our future will ultimately depend on our individual sovereignty. No longer being duped, no longer being hypnotized, no longer being lied to, and facing the current music of the deception. Will you rise above the deception and take the blind off? Will you take the wool from your eyes? Will you take the rose-colored glasses off? Will you see your exact reality for what it is? Will you awaken, or will you continue to sleep? It is written in the stars and within the scrolls of the earth that we will be liberated as a human race. They've been trying to stop it. They've been trying to access portals to try to turn back time. This is why we feel like we're in the twilight zone. They're trying to access parts of the world and parts of existence that they do not understand. They think they understand, but they have no clue. Despite how the world sees or treats you, if you knew to the extent of how much you are loved and how much you are embraced and cherished, as in the likesity, to be alive, to be celebrated. To be alive is to celebrate life. To be alive is to be divine. And to stand in that authentic divine energy that you are. That you have always been. It wasn't to walk in fear. It wasn't to walk in sadness. It wasn't to walk in or in sin. It is to walk in unconditional love. And recognizing the impact that you make upon the world. Recognizing the infinite possibilities that you have before you to either rise or meet your demise. The choice is ultimately yours. On an individual basis, as well as a collective. If you do not wish to see chaos, then don't become it. When we are so distracted of what's around us and outside of us, and we're constantly bombardedly told not to look within, not to trust our own thoughts. Well, what is that? But the removal of our sovereignty, our individual sovereignty, the individual right to exist and to thrive and to live. The ability to speak. Human beings. It's not a human becoming. The vast majority of you are so dead set on becoming something that you fail to see who you are in this very moment and the impact that you make in this very moment. You are the divine experiencing itself through your essence of understanding. Without the divine, you do not exist. Without the divine energetics within your beat, the ability to have a soul and a spirit, you would not exist. And to think of yourself as less is a sin. It is a blasphemy to sovereignty as a divine being. The divine does not judge. But there are people that have gone such and so astray as to bring pain and suffering and chaos to the world, thinking that that is the solution. The constant shootings, the constant accidents, the constant chaos that is by our municipalities across the world, in every sector. The debilitation that they provide the populace is disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves in representing their divinity in the way that they show up. Of themselves as less than who they are. That is the true sin. To forget, to utterly forget your true potential. When you were brought here to remember. "2025 is going to be the year of illumination. Into 2026 going to be an illumination in such a way it is going to reveal our past lives. It is going to connect the dots to our current status. The dark night of the soul is brought about to see the difference between divinity and darkness. Without one, you cannot have the other. That is the only reason why darkness exists. It is to show difference. It is not meant to rule the world. It is not meant to rule our reality. It is not meant to create a sense of control. It is supposed to be a place of discovery and creativity and ability to evolve into the highest one of yourself. It is not to create robots to take care of everything. It's a nice thought. But just as cars and just as other stuff, we will be overridden by them. Our world will be littered by it. Will be our demise. We already know that. We've lost our focus as a humanity. The carbon taxes and whatever else isn't going to help us. The thoughts on global warming isn't going to save us. It is each and every single one of our own individual intentions that will move the earth forward. Nothing more, nothing less. If we choose to change the way our genetics are for what they are now, they've always been. If we create a synthetic aspect to ourselves, our divinity will fail to exist. It will be ultimate demise. I have wept. I have cried for weeks and for months at the devastation that has ensued upon this planet. The divine came to me. And I know I'm the only one. I know there are others there like me. They have literally had to hire people to be in the astral realm to help with influx of the devastation due to the current balance within our DNA structure. And I'm not using devastation lightly. And you should be mad. You should be ringed and infuriated. And you should speak up. Millions upon millions of people spoke up. Millions across the world spoke up. To stand humanity. and these imbeciles, lesser demons, made us look like a bunch of jokes for speaking up. And by the divine light, I decree that absolutely every single one of the people, of the entity that were involved in the contamination of humanity shall meet their demise. You cannot run, you cannot run, you cannot hide. You will be hunted down, divine vengeance. Let the divine light seep into your darkest abyss, into the deepest, darkest parts of your soul. And let every bit of darkness flee. Let you see the devastation, and let it haunt you. And let all those that were lied to and deceived and hypnotized and mandated in order to survive. Let the divine blanket you with an abundance of healing, of courage, of comfort, of protection, and a miraculous eradication of any damage that they might have. May miracles work in your life to be healed. By the divine order of itself. Of, so below, as within, so without. And so it is. Ashe. The removal of the false god will commence. It's already started. This is going back to source energy. We're going to need to commit and have courage to follow through with our intuition. It is the only way. The only way through it is within it. The only way through is inward. It's not going to be back by 2028. What makes you think the woolly mammoth is actually gone? Just as we are opening up, just as we are finding our stability, just as we are finding our footing, just as we are finding balance and choosing to trust and love, find truth and clarity, they're trying to manipulate it, and to manipulate into the wisdom that they choose to want. And this is why you cannot find it in any book. You must go within yourself, within your own understanding, outside of the matrix, outside of your current knowledge. Outside of your hypnosis and your programming. It's almost an unlearning. Because they're trying to manipulate. They're creating a chaos. They are creating a situation of chaos. And very soon, they are going to present a situation of solution, of comfort, of community. We got the Four of Acorns. We've got the Three of Shells. We have the Sun. We have the Eight of Acorns. We have the Shaman, and we have Eight of Acorns, or Knight of Acorns. Things are about to change, collective. Someone's coming in very deceptive. They don't understand you. This whole last year I've been adamant about us doing our healing, empowering ourselves, stepping into our high timeline. It was for good reason. The more of us on the planet that do this, the less control they'll have. The more we step into our individual sovereign power. And the more we step into our divinity, the better the impact, even just energetically. But that requires courageous healing. You're going to be part of the solution, or you're going to be part of the problem. Most of us are lost because we fail to go within. Most of us are in a fog because our inner world is that, just a fog. Because we've been met with so much deception, so much pain, lies, so much betrayal that we don't know exactly what we are looking at anymore. We don't know whether or not what we are looking at is honestly truthful. Is it sincere? and it leaves you in a cognitive dissonance. Remove yourself from the matrix even for a moment to just recognize your own energy. And people wonder why meditation is so important. It's not about sitting there and emptying out your mind. It's about recognizing and taking accountability of what is yours and what is not. Pondering possible solutions on making good impact in the world that will better our world and create it rather than demise. To stand in our authenticity of our divine essence of who we are rather than the sense of what we are not. To mess with and play God with mad science isn't the way to go. We were all made perfect image of the divine experiencing itself through you. I find that we are all in many different forms and different stages, yes, but it's due to the deception, due to the programming that we've ensued within our life, and the inability to branch out and be your own authentic version of yourself rather than putting on masks, living up to expectations of what everyone else wants. Whatever happened to stepping into your own divinity? Rather than being programmed to bounce around in the karmic energy all the time. What if we were actually given the chance to have the peace of mind in order to feel so settled within our person, within our bodies, that we didn't have to worry about whether or not we were going to eat tomorrow, whether or not we were going to have a roof over our head tomorrow. Whether or not we were going to get a hug or actually be valued tomorrow and today. Have the peace of mind that there was a place for you in the world where you could make the best impact for yourself, where you could feel fulfilled and feel capable, where you didn't have to fight your life anymore. To a place where we could actually go out and sleep under the stars and not be bothered by anyone. We were not brought here we were not to suffer. It was never the idea. The divine itself has a way of balancing everything out on its own. But when people outright sabotage people and creates chaos, that's a whole different ballgame. This is a call to action, a call to awaken, a call to remember, and to step into your sovereignty as your highest, most authentic version of yourself. As a peaceful human being. The time is now that we overthrow the darkness, that we shine every light that we can to the shadows. Our lives depend on it. The more we rise, the more we raise our vibration and our frequency, the better it will be. When you are working on yourself, you stay focused on yourself. Of course, if you have kids and responsibilities, but always make time and have the ability to take time to recognize their own frequency compared to everyone else's. Anything that is coming at you that is not yours, you have the sovereignty to protect yourself. The moment you realize and recognize how powerful your word is, alone, when you step into your authenticity and you speak with righteousness and respect for humanity, your words are heard by the divine. We need to start speaking healing and abundance and prosperity into our life. That we know we are prosperous. We know that we are abundant. We know that we are courageous. We know that we have unlimited possibilities to heal. Glitching out again. To remember who we are is our biggest flex. And to follow our calling, our inner calling, is our biggest test. But if we answer the call, there's no telling where it will bring us. A lot of tonight's channeling came from the central sun of source energy itself. The central sun is the epitome of the Big Bang. It is the core of itself within our galaxy of galaxies. We need to awaken and remember before it's too late. Because we have the option. We can either survive this and evolve into our highest authentic versions of ourselves. It will be our demise. This is the cleansing of the spirit. And just as our earth has been cleansed by earthquakes, by hurricanes, by fires, and by floods, for the first time in existence, in all of the millennia, our earth will finally go through its spirit cleansing, moving back to the beginning of source consciousness, ridding away eroding and derogatory religions, deceptive spiritualities, and mad science, going back to the remedies of Mother Earth in its natural, studied form. And I'm not saying science isn't reputable. I'm saying the mad science is not reputable. There are still things that we need to discover within the science parameter. For the first time in millennia, we are now connecting science to spirit. There's been research done to where spirituality and the ability and notion to be spiritual can be looked at scientifically. Spiritualities. Thank you, Taylor. Welcome in, Mark. Sorry, we're fresh out of cookies. Oh, there you go, Starlight. I really wish I could pick. I really wish I could pick a membership. All these gifted memberships. Like, I'm grateful for people that are becoming members. Don't get me wrong. However, there's some people that I would like to gift a membership to. But it still does not give me that option yet. You are a member there, Mark. Insight. People didn't want the magic to come back. So this is why they instilled so much fear. Because within the magic, we are able to create an abundance. And people got greedy. They wanted it for themselves. So they worked very diligently and very hard to create a deception to keep us away from the truth of our true potential. Left us in a mental prison and breadcrumbed to make it look like it was balanced by the creating of money and truth. Making it and wait and wait, only to be left out in the cold, over and over and over again. It doesn't matter what paw that you vote for. They are all part of the same monster. And that monster is about to crumble, to be seen for what it is. So what happens when the monster is gone? What happens when the monster's been defeated? What happens when we no longer have a paw to vote for? What happens when we do not have a deception to distract us? This is why it's so predominantly important to stay in your divine energy. Because when you are in your divine energy, you recognize when you are in your divine energy and you are being totally bombarded by distractions and programs and programming, you fall short due to the misfocus of what's important, which creates a stress. It creates a pain, an uncertainty, an anxiety that we can't put a finger on. We can't wrap our head around or even understand it. It's meant to be that way. It is what makes up the fog of our deceptive mind, makes us question our abilities and our reality, which creates the anxiety and the panic of getting lost outside of a lot of the time. We need to be up and we need to be moving. At least that's what they tell us. Stay moving. Just keep moving. But if you sit there on autopilot and you're addicted, what are you actually doing? Are you feeding the monster? Are you perpetuating the monster? Are you supporting? Are you submitting to the monster? or when you are in quiet meditation, when physically you are doing nothing. It's better to do nothing than to get up and do something stupid or something not in alignment with who you are, your boundaries and standards, to be lesser. People say to drop your standards, to drop your boundaries, bring down your walls. When those walls were built for particular reasons to bring you peace of mind. And the people that choose to try to stamp on your boundaries, they have the karmic retribution that they will be receiving. Due to the chaos. Due to the pain. The deception. The lies. All of this is being accounted for. We are being brought to a precipice in time where we have no other choice but to make a choice. We are being brought to a position in time where the choice that we make will be our rise or our demise. And people think it's a big joke, that life is just a game. And I'm here to speak on this, that it's so much more than a game. It's so much more than anyone could actually wrap their head around. And the ability to change our world for the better, humanity, is still possible every day. And just when you feel that you're awake and that you've awoke and that you're awakened, that you finally see what the world is all about, truthfully, underneath all the chaos, just when you feel that you've learned everything that you can learn, you'll end up having another awakening and an even deeper epiphany to the grand example of humanity living out the potential of authentic divinity. Through human existence. And this we are the change. Because it takes our thought and our understanding to be that change. If we are deceived and lied to, what do we expect? To step into our true ability is only a thought away. The challenge is to continue to hold on to that. To continue to hold on to that sovereignty throughout all the challenge and all the chaos. Setting and leading by an example rather than more of what you see. The ability to take your power back and alchemize the pain that is within you and turn it into power to rise. Each and every single one of us spark within us, the fire, the nudge, the calling, the ability of choice. It depends on you. Where do you stand? Do you stand selfishly with your current reality? Or do you stand in sovereignty of your own being? I'm always asking you to call on your guides, call on your angels and your ancestors, and honor your ancestors by living your day in reverence and respect, being the example, standing in your power, inspiring not only yourself, but others to be the best that you can be as an individual within your authenticity. It's not about putting on a mask. It's not about pretending. It's about believing in possibilities that you can literally be anything that your heart calls you to be. It only takes you listening to your heart to find the way. But how do you listen to a broken, shattered heart in a cup? How do you get a positive position or perspective by a broken, shattered heart in a cup? How to succeed and elevate and evolve by working with a shattered heart in a cup? To be abandoned and brokenhearted. To be in a place of lack and uncertainty. It is but by darkness that prevails us from our authenticity. That is the sin. It is the darkness that throws chaos into our healing, that distracts us from what we should be focusing on. To recognize is to see. To see is to understand or learn. To learn is to understand. To understand is to be accountable and take action. living the example of our transmutation of that pain into power. The true essence of alchemy, our reality and our experience with our emotions, within our tensions, we have the ability to make or break this world. And a lot of us are failing to see the point. This is why a lot of them are being thrown into a dark night of the soul. There's no better time than now to step up and support your community. Your life will depend on it. In the coming months, very, very soon, starting in the coming week, there will be rumbles. There will be earthquakes. There will be hurricanes. Volcanoes will erupt. And there will be flooding. Everything of what I've spoken of has already happened. And it is continue to happen. This will be your wake-up call. Your official, earthly wake-up call. If you have not received that wake-up call, you will receive it. There will not be an inch of earth that will not be touched by this cleansing. You will not run, and you will hide, whether underground or in the sky. That what is, it will become. Thy will be seen, thy will be done. I am not wishing devastation upon your life. I am wishing you divine sovereignty over your life. For you, yourself, to step into your capabilities and true potential as individuals rather than the deception and the lies and the masking of what they want you to be. This is you stepping into your calling, into your full potential. This does not mean hostility. This does not mean hate. This does not mean ridicule. It represents compassion, forgiveness, and accountability. It represents truth, transparency, and justice for all. All that thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. As within, so without. As above, so below. That what you wish for the world, you wish for yourself. As I have been awakened, I wish the same for you. For through this awakening, we can rise and evolve into our highest, most authentic and best example for each and every single one of us. The shift is already here. The shift is already happening. The wave of light beings, of light workers, of earth angels and star seeds and chosen have already been intricately placed across the world. The unleashing of karma and dharma is upon us. Those that were last will be first, and those that were first will be last. And that manipulated to rise will meet their demise. Those that were kind of heart and with good intention will keep their sovereignty. And those that did not will meet their travesty. The earth has been through many eras and many eons of time and space. Our solar system has crossed through many galaxies. Due to the spiritual cleansing, we are becoming more ready to receive outer visitations. The entities that we call aliens is an insult to divinity. We are within this frequency that we are. Just because they do not look the same does not mean that they are not like us, or we are not like them. They're sitting at a different frequency, and this is why they look different. Otherwise, they would look the same. It would be ignorant and arrogant to think that we are only life source within existence. To believe there are other solar systems within other galaxies with life just as, if not of a higher sophistication. We do not have any permittance to venture in a sci-fi world we are meant to be within this frequency and plane of existence for a particular reason. The ability to travel to other planets and other solar systems regarding our frequency. It comes down to our frequency. And this is why they keep us in a lower state of fear. To keep us from rising. To keep us from raising our frequency. It is also known in the Bible as the rapture. It is not necessarily Jesus coming to receive you, but it is your frequency that raises you into this ability to ascend. It takes a total resolving of your heart, your soul contracts. Which brings about the ability to ascend and to rise in the rapture. The rising in the rapture brings you to other planets. It brings the potential to return to the central sun of all encompassed consciousness. We agree to soul contracts within. That is what keeps us residing here within this frequency. When we officially and finally remember, we activate these soul contracts. It brings us through tests and tribulations to rise and to become resilient and to become warriors. It takes a courageous heart. It is not for the weak. It is for the courageous. And this is the great test on Mother Earth. It's whether or not you live to your potential. It is whether or not you choose to accept your cosmic contracts of ascension. And this is how they distract us through education and the grading system, training us into deliberate, submissive soldiers, enthralled with X, within the deception, interlaced within our everyday life, thinking we're making a difference. And by the time we realize we're part of the monster, it's too late. We've already given up our soul contract. We chose to vote for the paw of the beast rather than the validity and the authenticity of hearts. By selling our sovereignty and becoming a slave. We make that contract null and void. The choice is yours. What we all choose on an individual basis within the next 6 months will either be our demise or our rise. There will be a time where you will be questioned, what side are you on? And I hope you make the commitment to have the courage to stand with Mother Gaia, with your intuition, the essence of who you are. And all of this rebirth to take place. This is the ending of an old system. that no longer serves us. But we will shape the system. The system that they're trying to implement will fail epically. And we will have to remember the history of our planet. We will have to understand what has happened in the last 3 to 4 wars. We have to understand and remember, so that way history does not repeat itself. If I was to sit here and tell you the devastation that I see coming for us, the potential is done. If I ever was to need my tribe, it is to stand with me. The more we watch the news, the more we bring in the propaganda, the less we know, and the less we find out. The more we go within ourselves and the more we realize who we are, the more we ascend. As individuals and as a tribe, as a collective. The moment you get out of the book and into your heart and bring your mind and heart to balance, as above, so below, as within, so without. As you change your inner world, the outer world changes. The biggest power you have is what and how you feel about yourself and what you think of yourself and you speak to yourself and of yourself. To think that you have no power or no sovereignty is a blasphemy. To think and to believe that you have no way out or no options when you breathe. When your heart beats divinity and you've forgotten, endless possibilities, unlimited potential. This was a channeling from Central Sun, consciousness energy. I cannot take any credit. I am only the messenger. I'm honored. I'm honored to provide a message. I'm humbled. Purgatory is of a different world, Mark. It is a world and a place of lostness. It's where the sickest of souls return to. It is where the darkness presides. It is the dullness that seeps into the crevices and the cracks of nothingness. It is the worthlessness and fear that you feel in your heart. It is the stagnance and the pain. Some people are brought there in their waking life. And some people are brought there in sleeping life. And some people are brought there in their spiritual self. It is depending on the darkness that penetrates their heart space and their spirit. We are right where we need to be. Heaven and hell is not up above us and below us, like everybody thinks. Heaven and hell is within us, within the confines of our mind. We need not to wait to be in the fiery pits of hell, but in sadness and heartbreak and pain, lust and sadness. And we need not wait a moment longer as to when we feel the love of the divine within our hearts. Yet again, as our hearts continue to beat, to continue to yearn for peace and love and forgiveness and acceptance. It is within us, of worlds beyond us, worlds before us. It is all in a blink of an eye, but a very intricate moment of time compared to evolution. Counting the sands in the hourglass of time. Every moment, every breath, every step, every confirmation, every understanding, act of kindness, becomes moment, time, and space. The only thing that drives us is our inner intention. We are the wheel of that ship. We are the painter of the canvas. And we are the magician to our magic. But all we need to do is first remember. Inked, you're depressed because you continuously become deceived. You're constantly deceived. You're constantly lied to. You're constantly betrayed. Grasping at straws end up being illusions and not straws at all. Your soul is tired. It's tired of so much expectation. So much red tape. It is because you fail to recognize your full potential. It would be an idea to rewind this live. Specifically if you've just jumped in. Depression is not draining, James. Deep rest. Depression is your body's natural way of cocooning. because your soul is tired. In our current matrix, we are thought to say that depression is bad, but it is not. It is the body going on strike, saying, the fuck if I care. You think I'm gonna rest, whether you like it or not. I'm on strike. Find someone who cares. Do not disturb. A lot of people going through the healing, the courageous healing, they feel depressed. And it's because once you've realized everything that you've held within yourself, and everything that you've bit your tongue about, everything you've stuck under the rug and not dealt with, you start to recognize how much you've only abandoned yourself. And yet you feel unheard. You feel misrepresented. You feel misunderstood. Because everything you feel, you've done to yourself. You feel abandoned by other people. Because you abandoned yourself. You're unloved by other people. Because you feel unloved. And the moment you go within yourself and fill your own holy grail of unconditional love, divine essence, you will receive a healing that words cannot describe. You will receive a courage that no haters could hide. And you will receive a light within you that is ever so bright. The moment we start working on ourselves, we start balancing out an equilibrium within ourselves. We see our reality. It will change. And it will morph into something different. Us, collective. The shadow is but a figment of the past. Your past, it doesn't last, but it haunts you like a memory until you transmute it into power, which creates standards, and it helps you step into your authenticity. Empower yourself and rise above the challenges. Rise above the pain. It is ultimately up to you whether or not you allow it to be your rise or your demise, micro, macro. Our own individual choice of whether or not we stand firm will determine where this world goes. So it's not about just voting in the next president or the next prime minister. It is also voting in on what you stand for, what you will no longer stand for. There is no possibility of saying, I will not vote. No stone will be unturned, and everyone will have a choice. Even the ones that choose not to vote, you will be given the vote as to whether or not you live or die. The very precipice of the very success of Mother Gaia resides with its keepers, resides with its caretakers. We will be the change. We will see and I really wish and I hope for humanity's sake that we as a world, as a collective, finally bring peace, love, forgiveness, wisdom back to the forefront. Because I don't know about you, but I'm done with the chaos. They be poking and invoking the wolf, and they be feeding the dark one. And the dark one keeps getting stronger and stronger. If they continue feeding the dark one, they will see the dark one. I only allow the dark one out when my life is being threatened. I only allow the dark one out when there is chaos. They would be good enough to not invoke the dark one. The only ones that are a threat to humanity are the ones inciting chaos. And the ones defending the chaos. The vast majority of life is hanging in the balance. The next 3 months are going to be extra critical. The war needs to be dissolved worldwide. We need to come to a peace treaty immediately. Immigration needs to be reset, meaning anybody left their home country, the fact they did not feel safe, needs to return to their home country, no matter where it is. At this point, peace will be brought to the earth. Humanitarian sovereignty will be stated. Human rights of human dignity will be reinstated. The rights to possibilities and opportunities will be on the table. This is a man-made prophecy. This is a man-made worldwide psyops that we are currently dealing with right now. Chaos where there was none. Creating separation and segregation where there was none. Creating groups and minorities was none. We are all ace. There should not be a minority, because everyone should be included with forgiveness, compassion, courageous healing, and unconditional love. How are we to receive justice if the chaos perpetuates itself? How are we supposed to get justice if we don't validate the pain and the suffering for what it is? If we choose to look the other way, or if we choose to not look at it at all, how are we to understand what we are truly dealing with? How are we to humble ourselves? How are we to open our hearts? How are we to respect the divinity within us as individuals and as a collective? How are we to acknowledge our inner divinity of who we are? The very fact that the divine life that is within ourselves, that lights up our hearts, that lights up our brains with electromagnetic frequency. The very essence of the divine that gives you life, and somehow you don't believe in it? Or you have a failing or a lack? It's only done due to the deception and the lies that were grilled into your head. Time will tell if this is heaven or hell. The mistakes we make, the dues that we pay, are we sorry for what we do? Was I born for me, or was I born for you? I wish to realize and recognize the shift in the energy once and for all. All of these big wigs thinking that they're going to survive this calamity. thinking that their bunkers in the ground are going to save them. Some of the bunkers are even being flooded now. Some of the bunkers are no longer able to be used due to the earthquakes. The tunnels under the earth, they will be uninhabitable due to us going through that Milky Way yet again. That will be going through the year 2026 to 2027. To think that you do not have potential, to think that you don't have power, think that you need to steal someone else's in order to have something, and not even recognizing what you have within yourself. Failing to be courageous, failing to open your heart to the divine, failing to sit in that pile of shit. Choice. The courageous healing, the empowerment through the pain. Words cannot express, words cannot explain. You have to feel it for yourself. You have to see it for yourself. People ask me to prove it to them, as if the very life to breathe isn't proof enough. Step into your full potential and see what happens. Just don't do it in your karmic energy, because it'll blow up in your face. It's the basis of alchemy and magic. If you work magic and energy, work in your karmic energy, it will backfire every time. The black magic is the magic that seeks to ruin the free will of others. The white magic consists of inner healing within self and the collective. Within that healing is protection as well. Within that is divinity. People in their divine energy are not seeking to hurt anyone. People in their karmic energy are seeking to manipulate and control and hurt people. Witchcraft can be just as much spell as it can very much be your words. And this is why I say that Christians are the biggest performers of witchcraft there are, because of their judgment and their ridicule of other people. There's people thinking I'm messing around with the church's money. I'm not a deceiver. I didn't need a book to tell me what I know. It was brought to me in visions, it was brought to me in messages. It was brought to me in the 42 years of my journey. I am not looking to deceive the world. I'm looking to shed light on that darkness and empower you to become the most powerful version of yourself in your own right, within your own authentic DNA. Nothing more, nothing less. To recognize the divine energy within yourself and to focus on healing that and standing in your power. Is it not time that we finally rise and evolve into a collective humanity of peace, compassion, not only for ourselves, but for the people around us? Or are we going to continuously walk by and ignore that what is staring us in the face? Begging for help. If no one recognizes the elephant in the room, does the elephant get fed? I mean, it's kind of hard to not recognize the elephant in the room. It's actually quite sad that in 2025, I have to channel these types of messages. Because ultimately, the chaos that ensued upon the earth, the people regarding chaos should be ashamed of themselves. The thing is if they were to off themselves tomorrow, I'd love it to haunt them. They would be sent to purgatory for the rest of their existence, so that they will no longer ever have a way or possible reason to reincarnate within this plane of existence. They should all be held accountable to the deepest, most severest capabilities. So that way these crimes against humanity will never happen again on this earth in any other future time. Across continents, no one left behind. We shouldn't have to invest so much into security. We could invest that into homelessness and build homes. We could invest that into agriculture and work in our foods and the ability to sustain us organically and not synthetically. To bring balance back to the earth. To bring true knowledge and wisdom. And not breadcrumb us. And dangle carrots of illusion and lies and deception, shrouding all the massive genocides across the planet. All to blood for what? The ebb and flow of potential and possibility. The balance of life and existence sits in our hands. My question is, where do you stand? It's a question you don't need to answer now. It's definitely something that you should think about and ponder. An automatic ceasefire worldwide is very crucial to our survival. And the ceasefire should have been done 80 to 90 years ago, if not over 100 years ago. And we should have known better than to lie ourselves into war, to deceive and put fear into the collective. That concludes tonight's live. We have the potential to heal the earth together. We need to start setting an example together through our intentions. That will be what makes us or breaks us. Thank you for joining me tonight. You can like, share, subscribe, click on the all button with the bell. If this resonated with you, if you stand with me and you'd like support to the channel, you can do so through a super thanks, super sticker, or super chat. You can also throw a donation over on the Hipsy link, or go on over there and order yourself a personal reading, whether by me. Make me work for it. I got a couple new ideas I've got in my back pocket, which is going to be coming to the channel here. So I tested one out. It failed epically. But you need to not only be paying attention to my videos, but my posts as well. Because there will be posted links for secret links. So if you are a subscriber, make sure that you are clicking the bell button, making sure that you are clicking all when you are subscribing or becoming a member. So that way you get all notifications. Failing to do so will have you be missing out on particularly private lives that I would like to provide to my collective, membership or not. All it requires for you to do is to be subscribed. So, keep that in mind going forward. I wouldn't want you out on some wolfy exclusives. I want to say thank you to my supporters, my members, my subscribers, a tribe. I've got full-on goosebumps, my whole body. I'm feeling the love. I love you all. Until the next video, if you can't be good at it, at least be good to yourself. So that way you can be good to others. And until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Enjoy your night and sweet dreams.